viewer contributions make local programming possible on WNIN. Become a member of WNIN with your contribution so we can continue to make this programming available. Visit WNIN.org and click on the donate button.
Next on WNIN Newsmakers, we'll hear from local public transportation systems on new services, routes, and other general information. Guests include Todd Robertson of the Evansville Metropolitan Transit System and Becky Guthrie of the Warrick Area Transit System. Welcome to WNIN Newsmakers. I'm April Nading. The Evansville Metropolitan Transit System provides public transportation in the city. We spoke with leaders at METS to learn more.
METS's general mission is over to get people and personnel to and from jobs, to and from their businesses, to and from activities in the community. METS, transit is a viable portion of the city. Any viable city has a transit agency, and it helps to relieve some of the stress points for some of the people that are part of the community. And then if you take the idea of the equity portion of it, for some people who are unable to get to and from jobs, they don't have cars, that helps them to maybe be able to have some of the same opportunities that people who have transportation. When you think of it on the business side, business owners need workers. And sometimes it is especially in this time, it's very competitive to find workers. And so therefore, if you have a person who has the inability to get to and from work, then that limits your pool for persons to be able to get, for you to have applicants. We're living in an age now where some of our young professionals, they choose not to drive. They like public transit. And so if we want to bring and maybe look to bring some more young people to our community, transit may be another area where we want to seek to improve upon. The overview for METS, we have the actual METS fixed routes. Then when we have the fixed routes, they go from 6 in the morning to 12:15, basically 12:50 at night. And those routes run on the hour, and they actually begin make an interchange downtown on the hour, and then they have some other portions that we intersect with, like at Lawndale, and then we intersect with some at on the west side, and we are in agreement with the USI while they're in session. We do provide services on campus for them while they're in service. And then there is a combined combination agreement between the county, the city, and USI to run what we call the West Connection, which basically runs from the Walmart area out to USI. Bus fares are 75 cents for a rider, 50 cents for students, and then if children 5 and under are free. And then recently we made it free for the elderly 65 and above. So if you're 65 and above, then you also get to ride it free. Our ridership numbers, honestly, since for our fixed route system is down. That portion is down because of COVID. Before COVID, we were doing about 2 million rides a year. Right now, we're doing about 1 million rides a year. So, and it is trending back, but we haven't seen it at the level we did prior COVID. And then you have the paratransit. Paratransit is mainly focused on the disabled. You have to go, and then you have to go to your doctor and prove your disability and scenarios. So there's some legal paperwork that we have to go through. And then we recently added another component on a pilot scenario, which is METS Micro.
Hello, my name is Todd Robertson. I am the Executive Director for the Department of Transportation and Services. Recently, we expanded METS Micro from the east side of 41 to parts of downtown. And for the next 60 seconds, I'm going to talk about how to use it. Come on, let's go inside.
To get started,
you must first download the app. If you never downloaded the app before, the first 6 rides are free. After downloading the app, you'll be required to enter your personal information. You'll be also required to either enter credit card, debit card, or a prepaid card, which must be maintained on file. If you choose not to use either of those options, you can simply come to Mets and purchase a ride card with cash. Okay, now you're ready to go. Using the app, you tell us where you are and where you want to go, and a driver will be along shortly. If you do not have access to the internet, just call the number below and speak to one of our dispatchers. Once you've picked up, you may notice that you'll end up sharing a ride. Well, that helps keep our prices low at $2 per ride. Before you know it, you'll be at your destination.
When we started as this initial phase of the pilot program, we started just strictly primarily servicing on the east side. And then we were privileged enough to be able to get a grant that allowed us to be able to expand that area into downtown. Well, Deaconess is one of our service providers for healthcare in the healthcare industry, and for them, they have a lot of transit needs to get in their patrons to and from, and we had approached them about becoming a partner with us into expanding or what have you, at least to try to, as a way to maintain Mets Micro, because as I said earlier, it is a 3-year pilot program, and then they came on as a partner with a $50,000 grant for 3 years to help us to expand into the Jacobsville area. So right now we kind of service a corridor over Jacobsville, we service downtown Evansville, and we service the east side. We're doing, I think, currently about $3,000 a month at Micro. Currently we're doing a feasibility study right now of the system. And we're in talks and conversations with MPO, and then there is conversations with Warrick County and the city of Henderson. So there is a conversation about whether we should be looking and become a transit authority. So this study is a good study for us to say, where should we be? Where should we be? And how can we continue to grow as the city grows?
Our next guest is Becky Guthrie, Director of Ride Solutions, who runs the Warrick Area Transit System. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Could you briefly summarize the Warrick Area Transit System, which is also known as WATS?
Well, it started back in 2010 for the need of connectivity to Evansville. There was, at the time, we did Warrick County public transportation, but we only did it door to door, which we do in 10 counties in Southwest Indiana. But the need was there, and there were some prominent people in Warrick County that got together with us and asked us if we could maybe create a bus route to connect to the Met system. So at that time, we were able to get the New Freedom grant. It was, and the JARC, which is Job Access Reverse Commute, which was really brought us together with some of the people up at NDOT and FTA for these programs. So with that funding and the local support, we were able to start the bus service down in Warrick County, which connects to the WATS. The WATS and the Mets connect every hour.
So who's using the Warrick or the WATS? Is it people who are needing it to get to jobs, or how is it being used?
Anything you can think of.
Okay.
I mean, it's amazing the different people that ride that and the reasons they ride that. When we first started, and we would talk to some of the people that would get on from Evansville, and one man stands out to us, he says, finally, I can go every day and visit my wife in the nursing home in Warrick County. He had no way to get from Evansville. He could not afford any other transportation, and there was nothing there for him. So every day he would transfer from Mets to Watts. We'd take him to the nursing home. He would get back on later in the day and go back to Evansville. And when you see give somebody that element of life that they needed connectivity to, it was just really heartwarming. But as it caught on, people were riding to work there, people were riding to school, people were riding to just get their groceries. And a lot of times people were riding just for the social experiment because they were lonely at home. They wanted to see people and talk to people.
And they were able to have some socializing on the bus.
Definitely, yes.
So you're talking about this gentleman who was riding from Evansville to the nursing home. How do the stops work? I mean, is there a bus stop in front of the nursing home, or do you kind of go where people need to go?
Well, the door-to-door service goes to people's homes and picks them up, takes them where they need to for a fee. The Warrick area transportation system is free, actually. We don't charge anything because some people have to transfer from one bus to the other bus to get where they need to go. And with Boonville, that's the hub of the county because that's where the courthouse is. So a lot of people in Newburgh need to get to Boonville. So in doing so, they would get on the Newburgh route, and then they would switch to the Chandler route, and the Chandler route connects to the Boonville route. So I mean, there's a connection. So when we first started this, we charged $1 per person, and then during COVID, we suspended the fares, and so then after a couple of years, we implemented them back again, and our ridership fell so much, and we had so many people that needed to ride that couldn't then, and we realized what the need was in the county, that a lot of people can't even come up with that $1 or $2 to ride. So we suspended the fares again, and they remain suspended. So the Watts, there's a little map here, and it's on our website.
Okay.
And it shows where they are every hour. It shows what minutes each one of the routes are. And so they make a dedicated run around, and we can deviate off up to 1/4 of a mile off of the bus route. But most people do come to the stops. There's designated stops. It's listed on here. They get on and off. And a lot of, if you're going around and you pass like the nursing home or you pass somewhere, all they need to do is tell the driver, this is where I went off, and he will safely, or she will pull off and let that person out.
Okay, so they can deviate from that
Yes.
route.
I mean, they can if they make arrangements beforehand.
Right.
But just as long as they're on the actual route, if the driver can pull over safely, they will let somebody off during that run.
So you talked about how you suspended the fare. So then how is that being funded? Is it still through a grant, or how?
Well, we get money from the state, and we get money from federal. It's all about ridership, and it's about productivity on our part. We have to have county money to be able to run this service. It has to be supported because we have to have a 50% match. So I'm constantly looking for money. Looking for support for this project. And the towns, the Chandler and Boonville and Newburgh, they have town councils, which they give us some money every year because this is where our buses are stationed actually every day. We leave from each of those towns. And then, like I said, we need county money also to support us. So, but this also goes into the door-to-door besides the bus, because the door-to-door is very important there also.
So when you say door-to-door, is that on a bus, or what kind of vehicle are you
We
using?
have any type of vehicle that was needed for the door-to-door. Most of the time they're in a small minivan, but they're all handicap accessible, so anybody can ride that. The people call in, they schedule ahead of time, and we have routes that go out. And then we fill in the gaps when people call in. But that fare is very cheap also. It's only $2 in town. It's $4 within the county. So therefore, someone can ride from, if they want to go, if they can't get to the bus line, they can call and schedule a ride. We would pick them up maybe in Newburgh, and we can take them to Boonville for $4 each way.
That's really good.
That's really good, yes.
So what hours do the buses run?
6 to 6.
6
a.m. to 6 p.m.
I mean, do you ever have people that maybe they can't quite make it before the last call? I mean, what happens? Do you
Well, sometimes that does happen, believe me. And what we arrange, like if someone comes over from Mets and we have, because the Boonville does not actually come to Metz stop. They have to get onto the Chandler route. I mean, but what happens, whoever is over there, if somebody happens to get off on the Metz at the very last run, we make sure that we just basically take them to the stop where they need to be off directly. We don't go through the whole route again. But we make sure they're not stranded at the bus stop.
That's good.
Yeah.
So how many people can ride on a bus? How many passengers will it hold?
Well, it's 15 passengers and under, and that includes the drivers. We can't go over that, or else we have to go to a larger bus and CDL drivers. So the seats are, just standard seats. 2 people are fit into a seat. So we very seldom have a full load because people are getting on and off continually through the route. So it's not always packed by any means.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is plenty of room, and
There
then,
is.
like you said, there are people in there to chat with.
Yeah, yes, there is.
So what are some of the other services that the Ride Solutions provides regionally?
Okay, we currently serve 10 counties in southwest Indiana, and that is all the way up from Sullivan County, Greene, and it goes all the way down to encompass, Daviess County, Martin County, Gibson County, Du Bois County, and then we have Perry, Spencer, and Warrick along the river. So potentially anybody can travel within those 10 counties within our system, and we have drivers that live in each one of these counties, and we dispatch them every day for public transportation.
So there are a lot of opportunities for people who need to get around.
Yes, it's something that, I know there's taxi cabs, but then a lot of people can't afford a taxi cab also. And medical transportation, school transportation is a huge part of what we do. There's employment. People need to get to work. Every day we take people to work. Every morning, sometimes in the middle of the day, in the afternoon, the same people get on every day. They travel back to where they need to go. So it's enabled a lot of people that were not being able to have a job to keep a job, sometimes even just initially getting that job, and they have transportation at the beginning, but then they find out, they meet somebody at their employer that maybe is going the same direction they are, maybe they live in the same area, and they can start teaming up that way so that they can find a different path to get for employment. But we are certainly there for employment, and that makes a big difference in people's lives.
I would think another one would be, I think you mentioned like transportation to hospitals or even from the hospital, stuff
Right.
like that. Don't they just kind of cut people loose and then?
They do. Yeah, we have found that out a lot. They'll call someone. We have somebody here and they're stranded. They've been released, but they have no way to get home.
Wow.
And we'd have to see if we can work that into our schedule and come get them and help them out. And our drivers too are just super nice. They love their people. They get to know their people and their needs. It's sort of like they become a little family on some of the ridership with there. And it's just, I don't know, we've been doing this for a long time and we enjoy it. And we just know that we're doing a service for the communities that we're in.
That's what I was going to ask. How important do you think this is to have public transportation for some of the rural areas?
It's people don't realize it. The majority of people just walk out the door and get in their car, go to work, go to any place they need to go. They don't realize their neighbor or somebody in their family is really struggling, and they don't want to ask for help. I know that we see people saying, I have a son or a daughter or somebody else that wants to take me shopping with them, but when I get in the store, they're going, hurry up, need you to get going. We got to be somewhere else at a certain time. And they enjoy shopping and they don't want to be rushed. So with riding with public transportation, they don't have to be rushed. They can go at their own, they can just go when they want to go, when they come back when they want to go. They get independence to go to get their hair done. Okay, I need a beautician, to do things. I can go and make that appointment whenever I need to go and book that, passage. So we're there for their independence. We're there to give them back something in their life that they're definitely lacking because of, of their situation. There's all kinds of situations.
Sure.
people lose their license for various reasons. They don't want to lose their job
Right.
just because all of a sudden they can't get to work for 30 days or 60 days. Sometimes we have employers that actually buy passes for these people that need to get to work on the door-to-door system just to help them come to work until they can get on their feet again. So we've just seen enormous amount of people that we didn't even know existed till we started this.
Sure. So how can people, what's the best way for them to get information about the system?
Well, we have a website. It's called ridesolution.org. It's no S on the end. A lot of people think there is. It's just ridesolution.org. And you can go there. It tells you all the information that you need about riding with us, scheduling a ride. It also has a copy of the map on there and where we stop and where, it is every point during that hour-long trip. There's a number on there that you can call to schedule a ride with us and ask for information. We look for drivers also. I mean, our drivers are very, they're trained. They go through training at our office for 2 days. They have to have a CDL physical, even though they don't have a CDL license. They have to have a for-hire license. So before any of our drivers are out there on the road, they go through a lot of safety measures and testing. So
Well, that's good to know, and some really good information. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Information about Henderson Area Rapid Transit, also known as HART, is available at hendersonky.gov. You can find out more information about the Green River Intra-County Transit System, or GRITS, at owensboro.org. Several other local counties provide transportation for older residents for necessary appointments or errands. Check your local council on aging for more information. Thanks to our guests for giving us more information about the local public transportation systems. I'm April Nading. Thanks for watching WNIN Newsmakers.